Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This time I'm going to show you how to take down Mora, the boss of Moldwood Depths. This fight is 3 phases long. There are 2 combat phases separated by an escape sequence. So it's combat, escape, then combat again. This boss is quite challenging. However, once you reach the next phase, so either phase 2 or phase 3, it counts as a checkpoint, so you don't have to do this fight all over again, at least on normal difficulty. I'm not playing this game on hard. Maybe on hard you have to do the whole thing over again, I don't know. But this guide is for normal difficulty. So without further ado, let's get started. In phase 1, Mora will begin the fight typically by doing a double pincer slam. When that happens, as long as she's facing in a direction, no fire will come out. However, she can follow it up with a pincer slash. So if you see her kind of like rearing back one of her front legs, just get away in the opposite direction and you'll be able to avoid it. Mora can also do a big slam, and when she is facing frontwards when she does this slam, fire will come out. In later phases, she repeats this over and over 3 times to get 3 lines of fire out, but just double jump over them and you'll be okay. She has another ability where she can charge toward you. You want to do your best to run away a good distance, then she's going to jump over you. Now the good thing about this fight is that Mora's only hitboxes are on her front pincers and obviously the fire that she spits out. And then in one of the next phases, she'll do like kind of like a vomit spray or something like a poison spray. But other than that, her only hitboxes are on her legs. So that means that you can kind of move all around her body. I think her head is also a hitbox, but that's where you want to hit. So yeah, you can move all around her body. So you get a lot of freedom around the arena, a lot more than you might think. So once you knock down the first 25% of health, Mora will knock into the wall on the right side of the arena, knock it over, and then she will gain a new ability where she can spray it's like vomit or something. And she can do this in 2 different ways. She can do what you're seeing here, where she kind of draws a web and moves up, and then she will spray it in an arc. What I advise for this is, whenever possible, try to fight her on this side of the arena, on the right. Because as you'll see here, you can hide behind this this hornet's nest or wasp's nest, whatever that is. So you want to do your best to hide behind that. Otherwise, you're going to have to get pretty high on the other wall to avoid it. In this phase, she can also cry and summon up little spiderlings. This is your opportunity to get some health back. They can deal damage to you, but if you kill them quick enough, you can get some health back as well. She also has a spray where she just does it right on the floor, so you just got to double jump a couple times over that, try to get to a wall, and you'll be okay. So she retains all of her moves from the previous phase. She also gets a spit or a spittle ability. If you'd like, you can use bash on these as long as you're high enough in the air. You can't bash them off the floor though, so you got to be in the air for those. But basically, this phase will just continue like this until the boss hits 50% HP. And then at that point, you have to do the escape sequence. So that'll happen in a little bit. You're just going to keep killing these guys. If you have the Spirit Shard that allows you to exchange energy for health, highly recommend you use that, because energy is almost infinite in this fight. It's always available. Just keep that in mind. I also recommend having the light on at all times, because again, energy is basically free in this fight. So in the escape sequence here, you want to bash your way up the screen, and then just make your way through this log. Grapple onto the grapple points, and then once you hit this log, you're basically home free. And once you land in here, the next phase will begin. So both of those things are checkpoints. Once you reach the escape sequence, that's a checkpoint. And once you reach the ground here, that's another checkpoint. So this phase of the fight is especially crazy. The boss retains all of her moves from phase 1. However, it's a bigger arena, so she's a lot more mobile, and you have no cover points in here. You do, however, have 2 bash points, so you can use those to your advantage to avoid the sprays, the spittle, and several other moves. The boss, I found, is a bit more aggressive in this phase, only because the arena is bigger, so she kind of has more opportunities to get to you. And like I mentioned before, in this phase, she also gets a 3 stomp, so just be on the lookout for that. If fire's coming, chances are it's coming 2 more times, so just be careful with that. The boss can also bash her head into the ground, and kind of knock some spittle out of her fangs. I guess it's venom, although it doesn't poison you. You don't get like a ticking health debuff or anything. But once you knock the boss down another 25%, the room will go dark, and you need to turn on the light. One thing to note here is that the spittle that she's doing, you could bash those back to her for a decent amount of damage. Once you get the boss down to 25%, like I mentioned, you have to use the light, otherwise the darkness will consume you. Don't forget to use the regenerate ability here to get some health back if you have that already. If not, kill some of these spiderlings to get some health back. So the boss basically does all the same things in this phase. However, I've noticed that she does summon spiderlings a bit more often than not. So these little earthquakes here, this triple jump, that can kill the spiderling, so just be on the lookout for that. And if you have triple jump, that's extremely helpful for this fight. So the boss will keep moving back and forth. You want to do your best to kind of get in her face, deal as much damage as you can. Using the light here, it deals constant damage, so it's really kind of worth it to just leave it on, because the crystal that gives you energy back is just infinitely respawning, and it always contains energy, so it's just always good to have. Okay, so I'm trying to find where I have vulnerable points here for you, but this phase of the fight is just incredibly hectic because it's hard to see. So just keep using regenerate. You sort of have infinite health with that infinitely respawning crystal. It's just so helpful to have. You do want to be careful though. You don't want to get yourself too far down on energy, otherwise your light will run out and you'll get consumed by the darkness. So the boss is a few hits away from dying here. She may summon another batch of spiderlings, I think. I did have one attempt where all I had to do was hit her one more time and I wound up dying. I could not reach her for some reason. It was quite aggravating. And it almost happened here as well, but I was able to beat her. And once she is down, the benefit of this, or the benefit of killing this boss, is all of the biting darkness in this region goes away. It still exists in other parts of the game, but in this whole section it goes away, so you no longer need to use the light, and you're free to explore the entire place without having to use the light. For fending off Mora, you unlock the achievement Dark Triumph, and that's pretty much it. That's the fight. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the blue join button below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and on Twitch. And as always, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.